Happy Monday, everyone. This is Frank Dicas dropping knowledge coming at you once again with a bit of a message, a little bit of knowledge. First and foremost, always thanking every single one of you that watches my videos, hits the like on the videos, leaves a comment, engages with me in the comment section and on the Exposed Tube lives. Shout out to Exposed Tube and to the whole community and to everyone that's been subscribing to my channel. There was a recent rise in subscriptions based off the last few videos that I dropped. So that really motivates me. It really makes me and gets me amped up to drop more content, drop a video at least once a day. That's my promise to you. I'm going to drop at least a video once a day. I'm also delving into making shorts. So be on the lookout for those. I'm going to start working on small short videos as well. Now, having said that, when I started the channel again, because this is my second attempt at building this YouTube channel. I had started this channel years before. I dropped a video and I made it very clear as to why I was doing it, and I just want to reiterate the reasons why I get in front of the camera and I do what I do. Primarily, it came out of my concern of dealing with people that to me are bad influences on kids, are bad influences on people. They're not representative of La Raza or men that come from backgrounds such as mine. That's who I'm against. That's who we're dealing with. And that's what got me motivated to start doing what I'm doing, which led me to join forces with the Exposed to community. We've been doing it ever since. Since that time, I've dropped at least 30 videos, including shorts. So you can say that the motivation was pretty good. But when I decided to do that, I knew what I was going to go up against. I knew that, these content creators have a large following. They have their followers. They have their, faithful followers. So we get a lot of trolls. We get a lot of attacks sometimes. I think sometimes it's them using other accounts. It doesn't matter. The energy's the same. We get insulted, call us out of our name, which usually I don't mind. But when they do it to women, as you already know, I've stated many times before, it does bother me, and they get blocked. Right now, I will put up with a troll for a while. Like if you're funny, if it amuses me, I might even laugh and whatever. But if it's repetitive, it gets boring. If it's unintelligent, if all it is just hate, eventually I'm going to block you. I'll block you from my page. I'll block you from my comment section. I'll remove you because I don't need to deal with it. I mean, it is my channel. I'll do what I want to do with my channel. We get some of these people that try to politic and say, oh, wow, we can't believe you guys are blocking people. You're not going to run our program, right? You don't run our program. You don't tell us what to do or dictate how we choose to go against the hate or go against the insults. Like, you can't dictate that, man. Like, you can't. If I slap someone in the face, I'm not going to expect them to slap me the same. I'm going to expect them to react even harder and come at me harder because that's exactly what I would do. If someone were to slap me in the face, it's not going to stay at a slap. I'll go at you. And it's not because I'm hard. It's not because I'm tough. It's because I'm a man and I've learned to defend myself. And I'm always going to defend myself. Right? If it's just conversation, I can have a conversation. If it's a debate, we can debate. If it becomes physical and you force me to take action, I'm going to take action. Will I get my ass kicked? Maybe. But that's not the point. The point is that I will react, I will defend myself. But not everything deserves a response, right? Not everything deserves a response, especially when we're dealing with things online. Like we don't have to respond to everything. We're not obligated to interact with people that are bad faith actors, that are trolls, that don't have anything intelligent to say, that their day is consumed with just trolling and being hateful. And, I don't have too much patience or energy for that. So if I block you, if I remove your comment, or if I remove you, it's because that's what I choose to do. I would rather not deal with it. I would rather not engage with it. And that's that. If it bothers you, if it upsets you, I really don't care. Now, at the end of the day, what I'm focusing on is making sure that my message gets across and that I put out the content that I want to put out there And that's basically it. This is for my subscribers, for the people that are rocking with me. Anybody else that doesn't, want to rock with me, or they're two-faced or trolls or whatever, you'll only get so much out of me until I plain out, flat out ignore you and decide to block you, right? And that's the energy that I'm on, right? And I wanted to share that with you because, a lot of us, and I'm not just, right now I'm talking about YouTube, I'm talking about my channel, about the content that I put out. But if we're talking about real life, there are a lot of real life haters. They can be from our own family, they can be supposed friends, with backhanded compliments that will compliment you and at the same time, throw a shot at you and hate you. And, and they seem to be cheering you on, but secretly they want you to lose. Like, we all know people like that. We've all had people like that in our lives. Sometimes they come in the form of family, sometimes they come in the form of friends, sometimes it could be our significant other, right? Or their family, or his or her family, right? That don't like you, they don't accept you. So, to look good in front of them, they'll talk to you nicely, but behind your back, they'll talk shit. Or they'll do everything to bother you to where you don't want to be around them anymore. Sometimes you have to deal with that. And that's what this video is all about. So there's this Bible verse that I always have in the back of my head whenever I'm dealing with situations or with people that tend to want to get you, out of character, that want to see you crumble, that want to see you act up or crash out, right? So there's a verse in the Bible, which is Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6. It says, um, don't give that which is holy unto the dogs. So that right there tells you that the word of God is calling these people out of their name already. It's calling them dogs, right? Dog, bitch, same thing. Neither cast ye your pearls before swine. What are swine? Pigs. The word of God is calling you out your name, calling you a dog, calling you a pig, right? Lest they trample the pearls, right? The well, good mean, your good intentions, you trying to make amends, you trying to build a relationship, maybe have them come around, turn around, and change their way of talking to you. Sometimes we think we can do that. Sometimes we think that people, after having an intelligent conversation, a meaningful conversation, they're going to change their ways. Many times they won't, right? Many times they won't, and they will continue. And this is exactly what we're talking about here, right? It says, if you throw your pearls before the swine, don't do that, lest they shall trample upon them with their feet, like they're going to step all over your good intentions, right? And then turn against you and try to destroy you, which is exactly what trolls and people online do. But you also have people like that in real life. Sometimes they're next to you, sometimes they're coworkers, sometimes they're family members, like I said. Sometimes it could be your significant other. There are people like, I've had people that compliment other people, but for you, all they have is criticism, and they're supposed to be your loved ones, right? And I block people like that in real life. Family members that have disrespected my grandmother and my mother, I don't talk to them anymore. A lot of things have happened in our family to where, I had to draw a line, and I kind of made my mom and my sisters draw lines where we cut certain family members out. Because all they did was backhanded compliments. They always had bad intentions. They always looked for a way to get over on my mom, on my sisters, on myself. And you can only go so far. Like, you can only take that so far. It's the same with the trolls. Like, I can only entertain you for so long. But once it becomes repetitive, it's boring, it's not appealing, it's not intelligent, it doesn't provide nothing but just disgust or irritation. I don't want to see that. So I'll block you. And in real life, if you could be a family member, you could be a friend, you could be anything. You could be my sister. But if you are constantly trying to ridicule me, bash me, or call me out of my name, I'm going to block you. I'm not going to deal with you. Right now, obviously, if someone were to step up in your face, disrespect you, push you, and want to get down with you or slap you, that would require a whole different response, right? And I have no fear of duking it up with whoever. I really don't. Am I the toughest? Am I the hardest? No, but I'm a man, and as a man, I will stand my ground. I will defend myself. I can get my ass kicked. It doesn't matter, but it's not going to stop me from defending myself. So having said that, you really have to build sometimes a wall of defense when you know that these people in your life are bad actors, are bad faith actors. You know that they have something against you, and you got to deal with it. If it's someone at work that you can't maneuver around because you have to see them all the time, you just ignore them, pay them no mind. Don't feed the trolls, don't throw your pearls to them because all they will do is try to turn it, twist it around, and then try to use it against you. Okay. I knew once again when I walked into this space with the purpose of pointing out the debauchery of folks that come in here and are bad role models that I was going to get a lot of hate, which I've been getting. I have trolls in my comments, making fun of me or just saying dumb things. Like some things will make me laugh and I'll just leave them there. But other things, it's like, you know what? I don't need to see this person here. I'll remove them. And if their channel is suggested, I'll click. I don't want their channel suggested to me. Why would I want to see their channel? They have nothing of benefit, nothing good to offer me. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my energy dealing with that. I mean, I charge an hour for the work that I do. My time is valuable, and I'm not going to spend and give anybody that's not worth it my time. I'm not going to throw my pearls to the swine. I'm not going to do that. And that's exactly why I'm making this video, and I'm throwing this advice to you. Don't let people have power over you. People are going to come at you and might try to disrespect you, make you feel bad, make you feel small, make you feel worthless. And if they're able to do that, then they won, right? Then they get what they were looking for. And in the end, we kind of fall under their control. We kind of fall under their dominance because, we allowed for their words, for their actions, for their hate to affect us, to get to us. We got to protect our mind. Mental health, and mental health issues are real. We have to protect our heart. We have to protect our soul. We have to protect our spirit from the evil that emanates from these people. I got some guys that run around saying that they're Christian on YouTube, but all they do is hate. That's all they do is hate, hate, hate. So I question that, right? So for me, they're bad faith actors, and I'd rather not interact with them, right? So when their channels appeared and as suggestions, I said, I don't want these channels suggested to me. Why do I want to see them? Right? Why do I want to deal with it? If they're not man enough to ask me or to talk to me or to let me know, hey, listen, man, this is boop, boop, boop. This is the reason why. And we don't have that conversation, I don't need to hear it. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to toss my pearls to the swine. We have to be very selective of the people that we allow into our circles, right? That we allow into, to be able to talk to us close enough in our ear or to have any kind of effect over us. Like we have to choose wisely. But if we already see from a mile away that these people come with bad intentions, why do you want to interact with them? What's the point? What do you gain? Nothing but wasted time. And once again, time is valuable. Time is of the essence. Time is all we have. Why waste that little time that we have on bad faith actors? Right? And that's the reason why I'm making this video, is so that you also find it within yourself, find the strength within yourself to nip things in the bud. I'll give you guys an example with my mother-in-law. Right? My son is the firstborn, and then I had my daughter. And I remember when my daughter was born, she would come around and she would make like statements like, women come to this world to suffer, and just a bunch of negativity about being a woman in this world. Now, I get it, right? And I've talked about it. Men, treat women bad. Women are really treated bad in this world. They are usually the victims of crimes, of crimes of passion, sexual crimes that usually lead to their death. No, men kill women for stupid reasons. So I understood why she was saying what she was saying, but I didn't want my daughter growing up hearing that. Because as her father and, as her parents, we were going to teach and we taught her how to deal with all of this, but in a positive way. Not thinking, oh, I'm a woman and I'm a victim. No, you're a woman, you're strong, and you have to know how to maneuver in this world, which is exactly what we've done since she was born till now. She's about to turn 19, and I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of how she deals with things. I'm proud of how she avoids drama, and how level-headed, intelligent she is. She's, if you saw my video where, we saw the locust, that's my daughter that I'm talking to. We have an extremely good relationship, but I had to block out and filter all of that, right? And sometimes that's exactly what we need to do, right? We need to filter, we need to know who to let in and who to block out. And I'm not, and I not feel guilty about it, not feel sorry for it, because if these people really had our best intentions at heart, they would realize, hey, you know what I'm doing is wrong. And they would take it upon themselves to change and not continue in such behavior. But the fact that they continue, the fact that they do it more, or the fact that they get angry when you block them, just goes to show that they will continue finding a way to provoke you. That's pretty much what it comes down to, right? Now there is another quote, and now this quote is not a biblical quote. It's by Nietzsche, right? Friedrich Nietzsche. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Famous philosopher, right? Famous philosopher. But he said, beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. For when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. Okay? And sometimes when we're dealing with bad faith actors and we interact with them too long, we may start adopting some of their tactics, some of their maneuvering in order to battle with them eye to eye, tooth for a tooth, right? But why do we really want to do that? Why do we want to lower ourselves to that level? Now, the best thing to do, and my recommendation to you, and my advice to you, and that's what this video is all about, is cut people out. Don't be afraid to snip, nip it in the bud, and salute. Right? I had to tell my mother-in-law, hey, listen, if you continue speaking this way, I'm not going to let you in the house. And she continued. So I had to keep her from coming out to the house. And that lasted for a few years. Now she comes around. Obviously, my daughter is old enough to understand, to filter out these things that my mother-in-law would say. But now my mother-in-law doesn't say anything about that, right? She doesn't talk about it because she knows that if she were to continue with that again, it's not going to be me that blocks her. Now it's going to be my daughter and my wife that will tell her to stop. So if people are willing to learn, right, and if they're willing to come around and say, you know what, hey, you know what, I apologize, I was just being a jerk, it's going to be up to you to accept it or not. I tend to accept apologies, but the trust level never always gets back to where it was, right? It may stay at the bottom, and I may still have in the back of my mind the idea that you might turn around and backstab me at some point. So I'm always on my toes. And that's why I'd rather not deal with people. Like, I can forgive you, but just not deal with you. I think it's easier that way. And I think that we have to be able to control our space, not feed the trolls, and not throw our pearls to the swine. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, an excellent Monday. I hope this message rings loud and clear. And until next time, peace.